Hello everyone and welcome to Sheep Market USA. I'm your host, Lanny Brothers. On this edition of Sheep Market USA, we'll start things off on the West Coast at the West Coast Video and Internet Sale Auction, which includes livestock from California, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington State. Then we'll make our way to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Then we'll stop at the Columbia Sheep and Goat Auction in Columbia, Tennessee. Then off to the Heartland for the sale at Shipshewana, Indiana. With the final stop for this edition, Producers Livestock Auction in San Angelo, Texas. Also want to remind you that in the description below, you'll find chapters set up so you can jump straight to the report that interests you. Just click on the link next to the report of interest and the video will begin playing at that chapter. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and check to be notified of new videos coming online. So let's get started here at Sheep Market USA. We'll start off this report in the western section of the United States at the Western Sheep Video and Internet Auction in Cottonwood, California. Now the sale report is going to be from April 13th. There were total receipts of 5,778 head on offer. Last sale on May 2nd, 4,175. Compared to the last sale, there were not enough current FOB trades for a trend, but higher undertones was noted. Buyer demand and interest was very good. Looking at the feeder sheep and lambs, now this will be for the western section of Arizona, California, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, and Washington. Lambs, medium and large, grade 1 and 2, April delivery, where there were 490 head on offer, averaging 100 pounds, bringing 182 per hundredweight. April and May delivery, there were 1,200 head at 80-pound average, bringing 214, 957 at 102-pound average, bringing 182 to 210 with an average of 196 a hundredweight, and 2,146 head in the 114-pound average, bringing 177 to 192 with an average of 182.80. May delivery, there were 425 head on offer in the 115-pound average, bringing 200 a hundredweight, and June delivery, 500 head at the 92-pound average, bringing 210. Replacement sheep and lambs, bucks, medium and large, grade 1 and 2, less than a year old. For April-May delivery, the 280-pound averages brought $600 per head, and the less than year-old 300-pound averages brought $800. And that's this report from the Western Sheep Video and Internet Auction in Cottonwood, California, with the sale report for April 13th at Sheep Market USA. Now on Sheep Market USA, we'll head to Sioux Falls Regional Livestock Auction in Worthing, South Dakota, for the sale report on April 26th. On that day, total receipts of cattle, sheep, and goat included 3,277 head, feeder sheep and lambs 273 available, and slaughter sheep and lambs 1,800. Last sale report on April 19th, there were 3,607, which included 173 feeder sheep and lambs and 2,011 slaughter sheep and lambs. Last year at this time, total receipts 2,908. Traditional weight slaughter lambs sold steady to $3 higher. Demand was good for the offering, and they saw less traditional weight lambs and more lighter weights. Several lots of lambs weighing 50 to 90 pounds were on offer. So we'll start this report in the feeder sheep and lambs. Lambs, medium and large, grade 1 and 2, 27-pound averages brought 120. 45-pound averages brought 200 to 245 with an average of 236.21. 54-pounders brought 200 to 245 with an average of 216.61, and the 99-pounders brought 35. Hair lambs, medium and large, grade 1 and 2. Light test in the lightweights, a 26-pound average brought 160 a hundredweight. And the 54-pounders, quite a few head there, at 165 per hundredweight. Slaughter sheep and lambs, it was a full house top to bottom there. 48-pound averages brought 200 to 230 with an average of 207.86. 49-pounders, 265. 54s brought 200 to 225 with an average of 212.77. 58-pound at 175. 63-pounders brought 200 to 225, average of 220.79. 75-pound. 215 to 220 with 217.28 the average. 85-pound 220 to 225, average of 220.53. 80-pounders brought 185. 91-pound 215 to 235 with an average of 228.67. 128-pounders, 172 to 192.50 with an average of 176.73. 136-pounders brought 165 and 153-pounders brought 150 per hundredweight. Pretty light test in the Wool and Shorn Choice and Prime grade 4 and 5. 181-pounders brought 122.41 a hundredweight and 200-pounders brought 121. In the Hair Breeds Choice and Prime grade 1 to 3, it was a pretty full house there as well. 50-pound averages brought 200 per hundredweight, 65-pounders 210, 67 pounds at 167.50, 76 at 200, 72-pounders at 165, and 97-pounders bringing in 165 per hundredweight. Looking now at the ewes, good grade 2 and 3, 167-pounders brought 45.49 average per hundredweight. 163-pound aged ewes brought 25 to 35 with an average of 28.31, and the 164-pound young ewes at 85 per hundredweight. Good grade 4 and 5, 193-pound brought 68.33, and 199 brought 35. Those were aged as well. 233-pounders brought 50 to 70 with an average of 57.38. 200-pounders at 45, aged also. 260-pounders brought 45 to 60 with an average of 55.82 a hundredweight. And the young 255-pounders brought 75. Utility grade 1 and 2, 130-pound at 50 to 65 with an average price of $58.52. 110 was $35. Those were aged as well. 139-pound brought $115. Those were young yearlings, and 150-pounders brought 25 to 40 with an average of 30 per hundredweight. Cull grade 1, 93-pounders brought $10 a hundredweight. 134-pounders brought 10 to 40 with 31.81 the average, and 153-pounders brought $30 per hundredweight. Hair breeds, good grade 2 and 3. The young 128-pounders brought 107.50. 166-pounders brought 40 to 60 with an average of 50.85, and the young 164-pounders brought 93 per hundredweight. And the hair ewes utility grade 1 and 2, 75-pound average brought 40 per hundredweight. And looking at the bucks, grade 1 and 2, 165-pounders brought 70 to 75 with an average price of $72.27. The young 159-pounders brought 95 a hundredweight. 232-pounders brought 40 to 55 with an average of 44.74, and the 250-pounders at 55. Hairbucks grade 1 and 2, the 146-pounders brought 65 to 70 with an average of 66.63, and the 120-pound yearlings bringing 120 a hundredweight. And that wraps up this report from the Sioux Falls Regional Livestock Auction in Worthing, South Dakota, with the sale report from April 26th here at Sheep Market, USA. For our next report, we'll move on to Columbia, Tennessee, and the Columbia Graded Sheep and Goat Sale with the sale report from April 24th. On that day, there were 1,022 head on offer. Last sale on April 10th, 803. Last year at this time, 1,002. Starting off in the feeder sheep and lambs, hair lambs, medium and large, grade 1 and 2, 18-pounders brought 390 a hundredweight. 29-pound averages brought 200, and 34-pounders brought 270 a hundredweight. Hair lambs, medium and large, grade 3. Average weight at 34 pounds brought 210 to 230 with an average of 219.85. Slaughter sheep and lambs, the Wool and Shorn Choice and Prime grade 2 and 3, 45-pound averages brought 240 a hundredweight. 115-pound averages brought 160. Looking at the hair breeds, Choice and Prime grade 2 and 3, 49-pound averages brought 225 to 230 with an average of 227.44. 52-pounders brought 245 to 365 with an average of 275.60. 67-pounders brought 240 to 250 with an average of 246.13. 70-pound averages 235, and the 87-pounders brought 221.83. The 92-pound average brought 232.50, and the 121-pounders brought 210 to 230 with an average of 222 per hundredweight. Hair breeds, good, grade 1 and 2. Once again, light test there. 53-pound averages brought 220 to 225 with an average of 222.70. 63-pounders brought 200 even, and the 83-pounders brought 180 to 230 with an average of 192.84. Now we look at the slaughter ewes, good, grade 2 and 3. Light test in each one of the categories. 180-pound averages brought 90. Utility ewes, grade 1 and 2, 145-pound averages brought 97.50. Cull 1 and 2, the 120-pound averages brought 55 a hundredweight. In the hair breeds, good, grade 2 and 3, 150-pound averages brought 100. Utility 1 and 2, 94-pound averages brought 140, and the Cull 1 and 2, 84-pounders brought 85. As we look at the bucks now, light test also there. Grade 1 and 2, the 147-pound averages brought $70, and the 273-pound averages brought 90. And that wraps up this report from the April 24th sale at the Columbia Graded Sheep and Goat Sale in Columbia, Tennessee. Now we head to the Shipshewana Livestock Auction at Shipshewana, Indiana for the sale report on April 26th. On that day, there were 925 head on offer, including cattle, sheep, and goats. Slaughter sheep and lambs made up 373 head. Last report on April 19th, there were 1,093 head, including 399 slaughter sheep and lambs. And we'll start off with the slaughter sheep and lambs with the Woolden Shorn Choice and Prime grade 1 to 3, a pretty light test there. 33 pounders bringing 290 to 300 with an average of 294.62. 43 pounders 290, and the 60 pounders brought 292.50. There was a bit heavier head count in the Woolden Shorn Choice grade 1 to 3, a light test through the lightweights and the 36 and 46 pound averages, bringing 243.29 and 249.19. Then the head count starts to climb a little bit as we hit the 54 pound averages, bringing 230 to 287.50 with an average of 267.98. 64 pounders 210 to 280 with an average price of 243.73. 76 pounders brought 220 to 250 with an average of 247.29. 82 pounders brought 175 to 265 with an average of 241.60. And on the heavier weight end, the 94 pound averages brought 170 to 252.50 with an average of 217.99, and the 106 pound averages brought 172.50 to 265 with an average price of 227.88. Woolden Shorn Good and Choice grade 1 and 2, pretty light test throughout that market as well. 58 pounders bringing 160, 77 pounders bringing 110, 80 pounders at 132.50, and the 110 pounders at 135. Looking at the used now, Good grade 2 and 3, light test there as well. 171 pounders bringing 120.45 a hundredweight, 70 pounders bringing $100 a hundredweight, 105 pound averages bringing 103.21, and 165 pound averages bringing 110.89. Used Cull grade 1, moderate test there as we get into the heavier weights. The 70 pound averages brought 92.50, 131 pound brought 71.29, 181 pounders brought 66.96, and the 212s brought 73.58, and the 255s brought 52.50 per hundredweight. And that wraps up this report for the sale on April 26th at the Shipshewana Livestock Auction here at Sheep Market, USA. Now we'll head down to Texas and Producers Livestock Sheep and Goat Auction in San Angelo, Texas for the sale report on April 25th. Total receipts that day included 7,693 head. Last sale on April 18th, 8,103. Last year at this time, 5,495. Now compared to last week, slaughter lambs were $15 to $20 lower, slaughter ewes were weak to $5 lower, and feeder lambs were not well tested. We'll begin in the feeder sheep and lambs. Hair lambs, medium and large, grade 1 and 2. Medium test there. 36 pound averages brought 234 to 262, average 244.56. 40 pound averages brought 239 to 240 with an average of 239.06. Hair lambs, medium and large, grade 2, a little bit higher head count there. 35 pound averages bringing 200 to 226 with an average of 203.36, and the 45 pound averages brought 210 to 228 with an average of 219.09 per hundredweight. Now we'll move on to the slaughter sheep and lambs, and we'll have a bit heavier head count there, especially when we move into the heavier weights. The 64 pound averages brought 206, 73 pounders 199, 83 pounders brought 196 to 202 with an average of 198.53 a hundredweight. 96 pounders 205, and the 114 pound averages brought 189. Woolden Shorn Choice and Prime grade 2 and 3, a light test there in the heavier weights, but a better test in the lightweights, a total opposite of the previous class. 132 pound averages brought 179.73, 198 pounders brought 140. Woolden Shorn Choice 1 and 2 had a good turnout in the medium weights. 48 pounders brought 217, 53 pounders 208.92, and 69 pound at 201. 88 pounders was the heaviest head count at 180.13 per hundredweight. 93 pound brought 170, and the 103 pound averages brought 179. Now we'll turn to the hair breeds Choice and Prime grade 1 and 2, a much heavier head count, especially when you hit the 55 pound averages all the way up to 105. The 42 pounders brought 230.88. 42 pounders also hit a high there of 248. There were 13 head that hit that high. 55 pound averages brought 220 to 233, average of 226.01. 65 pound 202 to 232 with an average of 215.75. 74 pounders 196 to 222 with an average of 208.20. 85 pound at 184 to 212 with an average of 195.86. 94 pounders 170 to 200 with an average of 191.35, and the 105 pound averages brought 174 to 186, average price 179.91 per hundredweight. It was a light test in the Choice Prime Grade 2 and 3, 121-pound averages, 150 to 180 with an average price of $170.65. And in the Hair Breeds Choice Grade 1 and 2, it was a pretty light test on the lightweights, but you get to the 57-pounders up to the 76-pounders, and a pretty good test there. 46-pound averages brought 215.61, 57-pound averages brought 211.28, 66-pounders 196.28 average, 76-pounders 183.19, 83-pounders 171.31 average, and the 95-pound brought 167.78. The heavyweight 105-pound brought 139.25 average. Now we'll take a look at the U's. Good, Grade 2 and 3, pretty light test there. The heaviest test coming in the middleweights. 137-pound averages brought 78.29, 157-pound averages brought 77.14, and the 222-pounders brought 82.82 per hundredweight. Utility and good, Grade 1 to 3, 132-pounders brought 102 to 124 with an average of 109.72, 73-pounders at 106, and the 221 heavyweights at 108. Utility 1 and 2, 127-pounders brought 91.89. Cull and Utility 1 and 2, 108-pound averages brought 68 a hundredweight. In the Hair Use, good, Grade 2 and 3, a little bit better head count there. 135-pound averages brought 95.27 per hundredweight, and the 165-pounders brought an average of 88.46 a hundredweight. Utility and good, Grade 1 to 3 in the Hair Use. 83-pound averages brought 120, and the 125-pounders brought 109.03 average. Utility 1 and 2, 110-pound averages brought 99.20, and the Cull and Utility 1 and 2, 73-pounders brought 80, 81-pounders brought 80, 97-pounders brought 81.11, and the 105-pounders brought 70 to 88 with an average of 77.63 per hundredweight. Cull Grade 1, the 93-pounders brought 48.07 a hundredweight, and the 120-pounders brought $50 per hundredweight. Looking at the bucks, Grade 1 and 2, the yearlings coming in at 103-pound averages was the best test on the day, bringing $153 per hundredweight. 170 pounds brought 120, and the 305s brought 75. Now looking at the Hair Bucks Grade 1, the 91-pound average yearlings at 151 a hundredweight, 127-pounders brought 126.89 a hundredweight, 179-pounders at 92 to 150 with an average price of 112.58, and the 212-pound averages brought 90 to 102 with an average price of 98.30. Now we'll take a look at the replacement sheep and lambs. Ewes, medium and large, Grade 1 and 2. The 1 to 2 year old open at 85-pound averages brought 140 to 166, average of 140.99. 2 to 4 year old open at 106-pound average brought 131 a hundredweight. Hairbred ewes, medium and large, Grade 1 and 2. The less than year old opens at 87-pound average brought 205 to 222 with an average of 218.53. The 1 to 2 year old open 95-pound averages brought 184.93. The 1 to 2 year old open 113-pound average brought 184, and the 2 to 4 year old open 82-pound averages brought 138.08, and the 2 to 4 year old open was the heaviest head count on the day at 124-pound averages, bringing 149.69 per hundredweight. And that wraps up this report from the Producers Livestock Sheep and Goat Auction in San Angelo, Texas, for the sale report on April 25th here at Sheep Market USA. And that brings to a close this edition of Sheep Market USA. Once again, we appreciate your interest in the sheep market in the United States, and we would like to invite you to subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment, and make sure to click the notifications so you'll be notified of new videos as they come online. So until next time, I'm your host, Lanny Brothers, saying we'll see you soon at the sheep market.